oh, now Geno's cooking. And it was like, bro, Russell Wilson wasn't even cooking. Like that was not happening. People were lying to themselves because there was no path. He was just so efficient.
Right here.
If you like that fantasy, fresh football content and you want more of it, consider subscribing to the YouTube channel and on our other videos. Give them a like on your way in. That being said, welcome in, Whisper Nation. It is great to have you here. My name is Austin Sear. You can find me at Twitter at Austin_R_Sear. And I am joined by the one and only Johnny Game Time Hicks. You can find his Twitter handle there at Johnny_Game Time. I'm also going to find out what's going on here in the Seattle Seahawks, Pittsburgh Steelers matchup, which we got next on the docket.
Sunday night football.
There we go, man. Sunday night football. The Seattle Seahawks are going to be visiting Pittsburgh in a 42.5-point over-under, where the Seahawks are favored by 4.5 points, despite Geno Smith getting the start at quarterback. So I'll start right there. Is Geno Smith worth a look? My question is why? Is there really not another quarterback available on your roster or on the waiver? In 2 quarterback leagues, like sure, but otherwise I'm out on this this Geno.
You don't believe in Geno?
I'll quote the line from the Santa Claus, like seeing is believing and believing is seeing. As Bernard so eloquently put.
Yeah. I mean, we can definitely, once again, it was minimal sample size. I was impressed. I was like, oh, Geno actually does know how to play football now. But again, I think you make a great case in point as to whether or not you want to really rush out and see Geno or get Geno. Yeah. I don't know, because of the pass volume. Like, that was one of the most funny things about that whole switch, was right when he came in and they talked about, oh, now Geno's cooking. And it was like, bro, Russell Wilson wasn't even cooking. Like that was not happening. People were lying to themselves because there was no path. He was just so efficient. Russell was so damn efficient that he was able to pull that off. He was not cooking. Again,
what do you think Geno does for the pass catchers in Seattle, Johnny?
Man, if you thought I was passionate about that, wait till you get to the pass. No, the pass catchers, I actually do think are fine. Like, I'm not going to overreact. Now, of course, is it Russell Wilson throwing him the moon ball? No, it's not. But again, if I'm going to pick out of the two who I'm probably targeting, and I'll tell you, I am targeting DK Metcalf right now because of this news. I want to get him because he's so talented. And you saw the rapport between Geno and DK Metcalf. Now, DK didn't actually lead the team in targets with Geno. That was actually Tyler Lockett. But what you did see was DK was the number one option right when Geno would hike it. His eyes would immediately be like, where's DK? What is he doing? Is he coming off freely? Can I get the ball to him? And then it was like, okay, now let me go and look at my other options and Tyler Lockett and the tight end. He was spreading the ball around. Again, we're not going to buy too much into it because it was one game. They were negative game script right when he came in. So I would imagine they're going to try to run the ball a little bit more. But again, with this matchup, second most fantasy points to opposing wide receivers, that is the Pittsburgh Steelers. It sounds surprising, I know, because their defense was so good last year. But listen, only Indianapolis Colts have given up more touchdowns to the wide receiver position. So I'm starting DK. I'm starting Lockett, even though it is a little bit more risky. He's much more of a boom bust even now with Geno, but the target should be fairly there. And I have competency in Geno that he can stay afloat with these guys. I got to ask you.
Yeah.
I know I just was so emotional and I put all my love and feelings into the wide receiver core. But man, talk me off the ledge with Chris Carson right now.
No.
Should we be panicking? Should we be panicking right now?
Yeah, I think so. You talk about them wanting to run the ball more. They're going to want to do that here. If that Vegas line holds true at 4.5 points, they're going to be trying to run the ball more. They're always going to want to be doing that. I can guarantee you they'd like to control the clock and control the pace. And Johnny, you talk about how the Pittsburgh Steelers defense is pretty porous from the aerial attack. They give up the fourth fewest points to running backs, though. So while this pass defense has shown flaws, the run defense is standing true to more traditional Steelers defense. But the Carson news about his neck, about his other ailments, it's not inspiring confidence. And Collins didn't do enough last week to take over. I expect to see more of DJ. I expect to see more of Homer. Alex Collins is going to stay involved, even if Chris Carson is active. We're starting to talk about chronic neck issues with this. This is chronic anything is not good, whether it's chronic bone on bone and Jay Ajayi, just a guy, or it's chronic things just don't keep you as a chronic player in the NFL.
Right. Unless it's like chronic fantasy football. Now that's something I could get a part of.
That's pretty good. They are good different podcast names from chronic fantasy football. I like that one.
Right. That's pretty.
Yeah. Moving over here to the Pittsburgh Steelers, who what a weird kind of team right now.
Dude, they're unusual. Like right? I'll say, like they're like, you have this whole notion of what to expect from Pittsburgh, but it's like that's not what the reality is of this team. Yeah. And it is mind-boggling.
Yeah, and this team that we've got Diontae Johnson as the big dog at the wide receiver position. We got Chase Claypool, but then we got Najee Harris, who's been just amazing as that first pick, getting all the volume, turned up to 11 as we predicted, but even more so. Are you looking at Najee Harris this week, Johnny? What are you thinking?
You're going to obviously get him in your lineup. It's Najee Harris. He's young. He's been given a massive amount of workload that you just, as a fantasy player, you just love. Like, you're just like, give me all the volume, like feast up. But not only that, Austin, not only is he just getting a massive amount of volume to the point where his lowest touches in a single game is 15. Like, that is wild.
In 2021.
Lowest, yeah. And exactly in 2021, that is beyond wild. But he is going up against Seattle. And so you're going to want to get him in your lineup because they just split the Red Sea there. And they're like, hey, walk on through, get all the yardage you want. So I'm definitely putting Najee out there. You want to monitor some things because people are worried about it. But he did come out of the game with cramps. It was not an injury concern there. It was just cramps. So he should be okay.
Now, their star player there, I'm not really worried, as you put it there, about Najee's ailments there. It was just cramps. But Chase Claypool's coming back from those notorious hamstring issues. And we got the Juju out for the season news with the shoulder. So I wanted to take a second here to talk about Chase Claypool. Diontae Johnson's in your lineup. That's the one. Love Diontae. Surprised us all with that strong performance coming right back from the knee issue. Chase Claypool, I mean, he surprised me a little bit last week because he was coming back from an injury as well. And he just bossed out last week with 5 catches for 130 yards and a touchdown, even though being on the field for just 55% of the snaps. And I think that points to where he's at in the recovery process more than the overall production does, because the last time Chase Claypool was active on the field in week 3, he had a 92% snap share compared to that 55% snap share we saw from him just last week. So Chase Claypool, don't get me wrong, is going to be getting more work moving forward with Juju Smith-Schuster being out for the season. But that opportunity increase might be more steadily increasing over the next couple of weeks. I don't think it's going to be like a one drop it down, there you go, enjoy all this extra production. But Chase Claypool, he's been looking pretty good, and I think he's going to keep looking better.
Right here.
Congratulations on making it to the end of the video. If you still have a lot to say about fantasy football, maybe you want to give Johnny a little bit of crap for his take today, then go on over to our Discord channel and join the conversation there. Click the link in the description below. And if you still want more content, check out one of these videos. Homie, don't you hear the whispers?